It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Monday. Wipe that weekend off your face. It's time to get serious, folks. Oh, my gosh. I posted over the weekend, actually last night, at about 8 p.m., I posted that the world needs real men. That one simple phrase right there, the world needs real men. And, of course, the cyber universe exploded. People can't stand a simple statement of truth. Most of you get it. Had about 21,000 reactions on one page alone. That's a lot. It tells me something. That tells me that by and large, the heartbeat of the world is we need real men. I know everybody wants to qualify it, but we need men who love Jesus, and we need real women, and we need real parents, and we need real humble men, and we need yeah. You can list all the characteristics you want. Bottom line, the world needs real men. End of story. That's it. People can come at me and say, yeah, well, you're not one of them. You usually have a blurry profile picture from 1997, 127 friends on Facebook. I get it, Frodo. Don't you worry about it, okay? Anyway, the world needs real men. We'll talk some more about that as we go in. The Puppet Master Mark and Chris Cruz, Super Cruise Missile, driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity here in Super, in the mothership, which is Studio 22. And speaking of Super, look at that shirt Chris is wearing. Taxation is theft. You can get it at chadonblaze.com, chadonblaze.com. Gonna get into it. Hey, I have to give a big shout out to Sis Howe. Sis Howe is a member of our Fact Pack. Always a faithful member, a good friend, been praying for her. She had a medical episode. She's had a medical battle for the last couple of years, but she had a medical episode a few weeks ago, very, very serious and not doing well. I was hoping I was going to be able to be in her area to go visit with her tonight, but I've got to go the other direction. So I texted her sister. I've talked to some other folks and been in touch, and we're going to get up there and see her in the days ahead. But just know, sis, that we love you. And from the Chad Prather Show family and the Fact Pack, we're praying for you, and we love you. So join us in praying for healing for Sis. Oh, my gosh. What do you want to get into? There's so many different things, I've been trying to be encouraging to you guys on Facebook. I've been putting out some motivational comments and various things that I hope will get your day going and get you kind of in your thought process to meditate on. And I'm working on the final touches of this new book. It's going to be a free book. I'm going to actually send you a free copy of this book. And it might be a little series of books on motivation. I think I'm going to call it, Chris, I'm going to call it Finding Your Center. And I think we're gonna go from that perspective, because my heart right now, see, I go through these various phases in life of just what's on my mind and what's on my heart, whether it's political stuff or motivational stuff or just life things and family. And like I said, the world needs real men. That's really strong on my heart right now. And I just kind of the tone of my social media takes that on, and this show too. So we had a great response, Chris, and again, big thanks to Chris for his hard hours and work on getting our Bible study episode up from last week. And I'm going to do better. I have to use the readers when I'm reading my Bible because I can't see. And sometimes I certainly can't see my old notes. Some of those notes were scribbled in there when I was 21 years old. So I can't see that handwriting anymore. But I kept putting the readers on, and I have to keep pushing the ball cap up and then pulling it back down. When I watched the show, Chris, that was annoying me. But that's just me. But anyway, maybe I need to get a bigger print Bible. I don't know. But I want you guys to be encouraged. We may do some more of those things. We may start even adding a whole block of the show into not just Bible study, but some motivational, inspirational things, life coaching, if you will, from a more inspired perspective. I loved the feedback, though. The positive feedback was encouraging, and it far outweighed the negative. I love the people who say, well, Chad Prather, he can't be preaching. I wasn't preaching. I was just reading my Bible to you and telling you what I thought about it. So there you go. You were allowed to take away from it whatever you wanted to, because I'm the last guy that's going to preach at you. Now, I'll bark and yell at you when I'm pissed off over politics or whatever the culture of the world's going, the direction of the world's culture is going. But I'm not going to preach at you. So
hey, Chad,
let's get into it, Chris. What you got?
I wanted to promote something. If people like what you said, they could go overtime, because we are on our 4th overtime.
Yeah.
And the last 3 have been kind of this side of Chad that I did not know about.
Yeah.
It's been 4 or 5 years that I've known you officially and unofficially longer.
Yeah.
And the last 2, I actually recommended to a father that was kind of struggling to connect with his son, because his son was did not know his identity. And I was like, well, you might want to watch the Friday overtime, because it is all about identity and finding who you are.
Yeah. People need to go to blazetv.com/Chad. They need to use promo code MORECHAD to save. And it also gives us credit. We know why people are signing up and subscribing. I still hold to the fact that I want to see 100,000 subscribers. I would love to see that happen. Probably a pipe dream. I'm no Glenn Beck yet, but I would love to see you guys go, because a couple of weeks we talked about vision and passion, and then we talked about last week finding who you are, your identity. And those are kind of the things I used to make a living. For those of you who don't know, I used to make a living, speaking inspirationally and motivationally to people. I traveled all over the place, and I would go into these churches and organizations and these groups and meetings and conventions, and I would speak. And I always made people laugh. And so, then you get to a point where people are like, oh, he's the funny guy. You want to motivate people and inspire them, but you're also... Then I saw the power of making people laugh as being inspiring. And so I was like, okay, that's not an insult. That was a compliment. And for me, I really want to get back to some of that stuff, because the world needs encouragement right now, guys. It needs encouragement. We're kind of... It's a shit show. It really is. And I am pretty unadulterated. I'm going to tell you the way I think. I'm going to say it the way I feel it. I don't have a lot of filter. And I kind of have thick skin, so I'm kind of rough around the edges in that regard. And especially the older I get a little bit rougher with all that stuff. But that's okay, because it's just who I am. If you watch the overtime, just about being comfortable in your own skin. We talked about that. And I want you to be comfortable in your own skin and stop trying to please the world. Stop trying to get the world to validate you. Stop trying to get strangers to validate you. We find ourselves having relationship problems with people we're not even in a relationship with. This is the kind of stuff this is the world we're living in these days because of social media and all the stuff. And I get it. You can block people, but you know what? They just find a way to rear their ugly heads right back up. Because if you block one person, 3 more trolls pop up. That's the way it happens. But listen, you're about to have a relationship with some people that you really don't know, because the southern border is about to be thrown wide open. With the dropping of the Title 42, which is going to come, that means anybody that comes to the southern border can claim amnesty and come into the United States. They'll get a court date that'll be a couple of years out. But do you think they're coming back? Do you really? I don't think they're coming back for that. So we have a clip here of Obama's Department of Homeland Security Secretary talking about these border numbers are difficult to handle. Play that clip.
Without a doubt, these are large numbers. DHS, I believe, has learned lessons from the past, in surges in the past, including when I was in office. But still, numbers at these level are difficult to handle on the southern border, communities on the southern border, Catholic charities that volunteers. Difficult to absorb these types of numbers under almost any scenario. It's challenging for the Border Patrol, for ICE, to properly process and track these individuals. And obviously, the Biden administration is paying a political cost.
Shut that border down. Shut that border down. Period. You want to talk about these 501c3s and these nonprofits like Catholic charities. They're part of the problem. Catholic charities, those organizations do not need to be operating. You need to revoke their license as a 501c3 to operate in the state of Texas, for instance. Revoke their license. They should not be allowed to operate. They're part of the problem. They're part of the trafficking problem. They're part of the human slave trade, sex trade operations that are going on. They go in there. They're funding these people to go to anywhere into the country that they go. They disappear under the cover of night, and they're never to be seen again. So organizations like that. And the Border Patrol, God bless our Border Patrol agents. They're like, people come at me, they get mad at me because they say, oh, you keep picking on teachers. I'm not picking on teachers. I'm picking on the school system that is abusing teachers. Wake up, people. Wake up to what I'm saying. All right? The school system, you're being victimized if you're a teacher. So when I talk about the Border Patrol, I'm not talking about specific Border Patrol agents. I'm talking about the system that's abusing these law enforcement officers. The Border Patrol agents are being abused by a system where they've taken an oath. They can't go out and do their job. They can't enforce the law. They're basically a federal Uber driver that drives them into town to a processing facility or to one of these Catholic charities or one of these other nonprofit 501c3s where they get their slap on the wrist and their plane ticket or bus ticket to anywhere. Now, Greg Abbott, and I didn't have a chance to talk about this because we didn't tape on Friday, and I wanted to, but I talked about it on Twitter and various other places about Greg Abbott, who comes on there and says, we're going to provide, that's his word, we will be providing, and I quote, providing charter buses, and we're going to take, Abbott disturbs me with the way he talks with his Biden administration. He just slurs his words together. Biden administration, illegal immigrants. Anyway, that's just me being petty, but it still gets on my nerves. But he says we're going to bust these illegal immigrants. Washington, D.C., where the Biden administration could deal with them. And so provide charter buses for them to go to D.C. Well, the deal is you're going to provide it, but they have to volunteer. And so, and they're not going to. So I made a video about I'm just going to take my truck down there and see how many volunteer to jump in for a ride to Washington, D.C. Nobody wants to go to Washington, D.C. I don't want to go to Washington, D.C. None of us want to go. No, Americans don't want to go to Washington, D.C. anymore. Why do you want to go to Washington, D.C.? Do you think people coming to the southern border want to suddenly go to the Beltway? I don't think so. No, they want to disappear. They want to go out there and make their money, make their cash, and do their thing somewhere in America. They don't want to go to Washington, D.C., so they're not going to volunteer to go to Washington, D.C. I promise you, Hector, who's coming from Guatemala, does not want to go to Alexandria, all right? He's not. He doesn't have a reservation at the Ruth's Chris. That's not what he's interested in. He doesn't want to take the tour at the new African American Smithsonian. He doesn't want to. So, yeah, the border numbers are going to be difficult to handle. And nobody has any friggin' solutions. That's the whole point. People say, well, you need to quit running Abbott down because he's up against Beto. Hey, listen, I will run him down in order to hold him accountable. And what folks need to understand is they say, what was it? They said, oh, God, what was the phrase? Somebody used it the other day to me. They said, you're not going to support the candidate or the candidate. They said, you're not going to support the candidate. Yeah, I'm going to support him with my vote because at least we can pressure him to say the right things. Whether he's going to do them or not remains to be seen. So people kept saying, oh, yeah, you just want to run Abbott down because he beat you so bad. No, listen. Oh, okay. Listen, I did just fine. Okay, I came out really on top of the whole thing. Don't worry about me. But let you get back to me when you see those freaking charter buses leaving Texas. All right. And by the way, back during the primary campaigns, he was on Tucker Carlson. He was on Tucker Carlson talking about how they were building the wall. How's that going, Greg? How's that going? Now, don't get me wrong. I'll vote for you in November because you're better than that piece of human excrement from El Paso named Robert Francis O'Rourke. But how's that border wall going? Because I hadn't seen a damn thing. Have you? Anybody? Anybody? No. Nobody's talking about any more border walls. Anyway, hey, folks, I hate to say it, but we might have some very unpleasant days ahead. And I want to ask you something. very seriously, do you have enough long-term food storage on hand? If not, I want to urge you to go to preparewithchad.com. In fact, I just went the other day and bought some for my mother. That's right, Mama. It's coming your way. I want you to stock up on emergency food from My Patriot Supply. You need food security above all else. And My Patriot Supply is the largest preparedness company in America with over 50,000 4- and 5-star reviews. Right now, you can save $150 on their 3-month emergency food kit that gives you breakfast, lunch, dinners, drinks, snacks for 3 months per person. I want you to go to preparewithchad.com. You'll see my ugly mug right on the homepage, and you can claim your $150 savings per kit. Your order will arrive in unmarked boxes for your discretion and privacy. Go to preparewithchad.com right now. You'll save $150 off each 3-month emergency food kit you order. Do not be a victim, folks. Go to preparewithchad.com right now. We'll be right back. You know, if I could just describe America in one word, it would be, did you guys, you had to have seen the clip. It's another thing we didn't get to talk about because it was the weekend. But your president is senile. He is in cognitive decline, all right? And one of the things that I posted, when or I saw posted underneath my the world needs real men, was people posting pictures of Joe Biden saying, this is a real man. Or they were saying, when you criticize Joe Biden, you're not being a real man. Okay, why are you defending him? Why are you defending him? If he's a real man, then why are you bothered when we pick on the guy? Oh, that's because he's a dementia-ridden old man, and you're defending him. You're defending him. You're trying to protect the guy because listen, do you remember when Donald Trump walked down the ramp in the leather-soled shoes after speaking at West Point, and they talked about, this guy, he's an idiot, he's stupid, he's blind. And now, can I go on record just as a side piece before we go into this? Because you guys have seen the clip of him talking about being in the foothills of the Himalayas, Joe Biden, with Xi Jinping. But let me just go on record about Donald Trump, because Donald Trump just endorsed Dr. Oz, which is stupid, okay? That's just stupid. Dr. Oz he's pro-trans for children. He's flip-flopped all over the place on the COVID issue, numerous things just to appease the Hollywood crowd, because that's what he is. He's played into the hands of all of it. So for Trump to play favorites here as to maybe it's one of his Hollywood crowd guys, I don't know, Sean Hannity likes him. He likes Oz. Maybe there's some play there. I don't know. But that's just a dumb endorsement. I truly believe, guys, Chris and Mark, I believe, and this is me saying this, not them. This is me, so you come at me. I don't think history is going to be real kind to Donald Trump as far as being a real intelligent guy. Okay? Now, I've known some really good business people and salespeople who are very successful that know how to go do business, and they're damn good at it. Like, I want to be on their team, and when they start talking business and sales and how to make money and how to market, I listen to them. But they're not always the sharpest tools. You know what I'm saying? They're just, don't get out there talking world history with them. Don't start talking about, the Bolshevik Revolution or anything. Like, you don't have to get into a whole lot of geopolitical blah, blah, blah with these guys. But they know how to do the deal. Now, to me, that's Donald Trump. To me, Donald Trump is the guy who knows how to do the deal. He's got a backbone. He's got a spine. I'm not taking any of that away from him. I'm just saying not always the wisest cat. Not the smartest dude in the room. Like, you can surprise him, and he can bullshit his way through it. God knows, I'm describing myself right now. I really am. Chris say, yeah. Hey, call a spade, baby. I'm describing myself right now. But Trump, you guys went at him when he took 2 hands to drink the water, and of course his defense was he was trying to protect his silk tie. And I get it. You guys were going after this guy. This guy's not all there. He's in cognitive decline. He's not, he needs to have these tests done, all this. But then you have Joseph Robinette Biden, who said this the other day. Play the clip.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I actually traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
You don't know what for a fact? You don't know what for a fact? You don't know if you travel 17,000 miles. You don't know if you're in the foothill of the Himalayas. You don't know if there's one word. You don't know what is it you don't know for a fact? You don't know if you were with the dictator of China? What was it? Now, if you watch the full clip, he goes on to say that he was asked why America is exceptional, and he says it's because of one word: possibilities. Possibilities. I don't know why he has to whisper everything when he's trying to make a point. But we know there's gaffes. We know there's mistakes that are made, and we know he supposedly stutters. That's been their excuse his entire career. So at what point in time do you stop and go, okay, this is the leader of the free world? We posted the clip last week of him wandering aimlessly in the room, and people kept saying that video is taken out of context. I would love to see you defend the context.
I was in the
I mean, you have to laugh. We're all going to die. This guy's the death of us all. So, you know what? Might as well make up your mind to enjoy the end, folks. Make up your mind. But then when he's trying to get the attention of, the more I watch that clip of him trying to get Barack Obama's attention, I have so many emotions. I'm sad. I feel sorry for him. He's completely out of control. He has no alpha prowess. I don't even know if that's a phrase. We just use that. Alpha prowess. Just that ability to go in and control a room and just own it and be like, you know what? My charisma is going to take over right now. Say what you want about Obama. Barack Obama. He takes over the room when he comes in. Bill Clinton takes over the room when he comes in. There's an electricity. Trump has that. I don't know that George Bush had that. I don't know that W had that. In a way, kind of in a folksy way, he still depends on what room he was in. Kind of in that folksy down on America. You can fool me once. That kind of thing you never knew. But with Joe, this is problematic, man. And here's where it begins. I mean, I've been to Nepal. I don't know that I would ever characterize that as the foothills. I guess all mountain ranges do sort of have their foothills. And I've been to China. I've been all over the world, quite honestly. I've seen it all. But anyway, he was in the foothills and traveled 17,000 miles. But here's where it really gets scary. Play the Chuck Todd video.
As Democrats look ahead to November, they see a lot of reasons for worry. But the top concern, likely the economy. And while measuring the country's economic picture right now is complicated, the nation's mood about it, certainly not. In fact, the Consumer Sentiment Index from the University of Michigan is probably the best thing we have to measure where people think the economy is. When Biden took office, it sat at 79. It went up a little bit in sort of B-plus territory. When the COVID response improved, it is now sitting at 62.8. That is basically a failing grade, if you want. Just before the pandemic hit, February of 2020, this index was sitting at 101. People felt really good about the economy.
What? Say what? So now, go back to what I said about Trump. Maybe not being the smartest guy in the room. Like, I don't want to discuss John Paul Sartre or Friedrich Nietzsche with Donald Trump. But you heard that number. That index was sitting at 101. And now it's at 62. Now, let's say you pay good money for your kid to go off to private school. And they come home and their aggregate of a grade is 62. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to feel like you've wasted your investment. Like somebody's missing. Like, because the first thing you're going to go is you're going to go to your child. You're not, historically, when I came home with a bad grade, they didn't just say, your teacher sucks. See, that's the difference between now and 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Used to be, you came home and you gave the bad grade to your parent. Your parent goes, damn, son, what's wrong with you? They didn't immediately blame the parent. The difference now is they immediately blame the teacher. The problem now is they immediately blame the teacher because little Johnny and little Susie never do anything wrong. No. But if you come home with a 62, somebody's sleeping in class. Somebody's sleeping in class. I mean, you were literally handed a grade point average of 101, and you took it down to a D. You went down on the D. Wow. That's 3 points from an F, bro. Golly, I don't know where you're going to find 62 people that approve of this economy. $150 to fill up my truck. I went to get bacon the other morning. I was going to cook breakfast. I went to get bacon. $11 a pack. Good God almighty. That's why I went hunting and killed that Neil guy over the weekend. Give me some meat, son. Woo! The global upheaval caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the crippling sanctions on Russia's trade are showing to have massive ripple effects across the world, including right here in the U.S. And it's not just at the gas pump, folks. Food prices soaring right now. To quote President Biden with regards to food shortages, it's going to be real. That's what he said. Friends, inflation continues to skyrocket as the dollar becomes worth less every single day. Transition some of your nest egg to something that's got worth. Do it with gold and silver from Birch Gold. That's right. Birch Gold will help you convert an IRA or a 401k into a tax-sheltered account in gold and silver. Get started now. Text CHAD, I spell it Chad, to 989898 with thousands of satisfied customers and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Birch Gold can help you protect your savings. Text Chad to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold. No obligation to get this info. Text Chad to 989898. Protect your savings with gold. That's CHAD to 989898. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, my goodness. Hey, okay, so for those of you who have watched the new program on The Blaze called Overtime, that's right, it's my overtime, you'll recall that at one point we covered some of what I'm about to talk about. So if you haven't watched that yet, I want to suggest that you do what's good for you and go subscribe and watch it. So let's jump in here. You know the story of Don Quixote. He originated in a novel by Miguel de Cervantes. He's the delusional defender of damsels in distress, the white knight on a shining steed with the mind of a guy who smoked way too much weed. He is, in short, the origin of the phrase tilting at windmills. Dude would literally charge windmills on his horse with a jousting lance because in his mind they were giants and he was a hero. In the story, Don Quixote's intentions are usually good, but his actions are always batshit crazy and completely untethered from reality. It is also from him that we derive the term Quixotic. I never say that right, but you get it. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to one of the 21st century's many Don Quixotes, the green energy movement in America. Yep, that's right. I said it. And they're doing the same thing, except that instead of tilting their lances at windmills, they're throwing bald eagles at them. Now, the bald eagle is a powerful bird, but thus far not a single one of them has won in a fist fight with the modern windmill. We're going to talk about this. Recently, a company called NextEra, which is a subsidiary of one of the largest providers of renewable energy in the United States, got hammered in court and had to pay over $8 million in fines and restitution because their clean energy windmills, get this, have massacred over 150 bald eagles. And by the way, although I'm focusing on bald eagles here, that's not the only kind of bird they've been killing. That really would be weird, right? Yeah, just exclusively killing bald eagles. But no, they kill birds by the thousands all the time. But I want to focus on the bald eagle for just a moment because the irony of our majestic national bird getting filleted is just too much to ignore. You know that bird's been our national bird since the late 1700s. It was chosen because of its majestic appearance, its self-possessed authority, its beauty, and the fact that it's been revered going back to the days of the Romans. Also, if you take one look at a bald eagle and wonder whether you could beat it in a fight, you realize that you'd best not F around and find out. Unless, of course, you happen to be a windmill with blades the size of semi-trucks. Now, understand something. People who are in favor of clean energy aren't stupid and evil across the board. That's an important thing to remember. A lot of them are chaotic. They want something to be reality so badly that they use the power of their imaginations to make it so, completely ignoring the fact on the ground and the consequences of their actions. And once in a blue moon, it comes back to haunt them, as is the case with the NextEra deal. So some fine day, those windmills may indeed be giant in the field of They may be giants in the field of clean energy. We don't know. But for now, they're really inefficient, bad on the environment, and a drain on taxpayer money in the form of energy subsidies. But who's counting, right? One thing they're really good at is killing the crap out of some birds. Now, nobody ever listens to me when I have brilliant ideas, but here's one. KFC should buy all the windmills and put them in one place, their chicken farm. Why not kill 2 million birds with one stone, so to speak? Boy, I'm full of ideas. Boys, people laugh at, they laughed at Trump when he talked about, these are quite honestly, it's a bird cemetery. Me and Sarah Gonzalez were sitting there at a TPUSA event listening to Trump speak one time, and he went off on that stuff, and it was hilarious, all the stuff he had to say about that. And people said, oh, he's talking about these windmills killing birds and all. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. And one of the things they talked about in the overtime is the solar farms. These solar farms are really killing the birds. They're frying them in the air. Anyway, I'm so happy that Joe Biden's administration and these crazy wackos are in charge, man. Charlemagne the God had Pete Buttigieg on for an interview. And this is how out of touch these folks are. Play the clip.
You do realize, Pete, a lot of black people feel like Democrats have kept no promises since they've been in office.
Really?
Yes. Reverend Allen said that a million times. I'm sure he'll be pressing you about that tomorrow.
Look, I get it.
Really? Did he say Reverend Al? Talking about Al Sharpton? Now, remember the photo op when Al Sharpton and Pete Buttigieg, when Pete was running for president, and they went in and ate fried chicken with hot sauce. I don't know if Al was pandering to gays or the gays were pandering to the blacks. I don't know. But it was pandering. Pete Buttigieg says, really? I started to post this the other day. I went hunting this past weekend, and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it really didn't have a signal. But I had this thought. I really want to put a thing out there, an honest-to-God question of how many in the black community are truly pleased with what Joe Biden's administration has done. I mean, how many of you are truly pleased? Because I think more and more of them are starting to look back and say, Trump wasn't so bad. Trump wasn't the racist everybody thought he would, or that they were trying to make you believe he was. I started to say that you thought he was. I don't know that you even thought he was. No. They were just trying to make you believe that he was. That was the narrative. And if you believe that Trump is a racist, and now a realist, calls things as they are. I'm a realist. I don't care what your skin color is. I mean, if I say that 74% of black homes in America don't have a father in them, that's just realism. That's not racism. But you interpret that as racism because again, rather than deal with reality, you'd rather just put a label on it so you don't have to deal with it. And that's what happened with Trump. But I would like to know how many in the black community are truly happy with the Biden administration, because I don't think many of them are. I don't think many. When a guy stands up there and says, oh, you're not going to be affected if you make over $300,000 a year. How many of you folks out there making $300,000 a year? I mean, like, how many of you can just go pump $150 worth of fuel into your car or your truck and just be like, blow it out your nose, no big deal, on to the next? Not a lot of people in America can do that. That's a painful thing, folks. And, this is $11 for bacon. I know black people eat bacon. Come on. $11 for bacon?
Well, Chad, did you see over the weekend the news about eggs? The prices of eggs are going up because there's a virus that is hitting the birds. So not only we have $11 a bacon, now we have $3 for eggs.
I saw one place had $8 for a carton of eggs.
It's unbelievable.
Crazy, man. Ha! Woo! Gives me the chills, baby. I just love America right now so much. USA, USA. Yeah, Himalayas. Hey, as if the criminals... It's going to make me laugh every time. As if the criminals in America weren't enough, authorities have uncovered an entirely new category of crime. It's called crime tourism. It's when criminals come to the U.S. on a tourist visa. They burglarize a bunch of homes and then take the loot back over the border. Sadly, being prepared is now a necessity. Southern border. Thankfully, there's iTarget Pro. This revolutionary system allows you to dry fire practice with your actual firearm anytime in the safety and privacy of your own home. No more inconvenient trips to the range, and you will save a ton on ammo. Just download iTarget's proprietary app, load the laser bullet into your firearm, and start your training experience. Dry fire training will help develop muscle memory, sharpen target reaction speed, sight alignment, trigger function, and a whole lot more. iTarget Pro comes in all the major calibers, including .223, so you can even stay sharp with your AR and pretty much every firearm you own. Go to itargetpro.com right now. Save 10% plus get free shipping with the offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. That's the smartest way for you to practice, and it pays for itself in a day. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. itargetpro.com, offer code Chad. Be right back. Well, Jussie Smollett came out with a new song about hey, this dude's going down in flames with this thing. He's riding this ship to the bottom, Jack. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to play it. I don't care. I'm still focused on the Will Smith thing. Wrote a song last week, put it out on social media. Maybe you've seen it, called Keep My Wife's Name Out Your Mouth. We have it? Play it. This is probably one of those songs going to determine whether or not we can still be friends. It's worth it for the comedy. Rumors are all over town, my lady's being talked about. Makes me look just like a clown, but keep my wife's name out your mouth. She got caught with all my friends, and in the end I can't pretend that all this pain will ever end. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Even though she broke all our vows, it's a shame, God bless her. She's a human tongue depressor. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Her reputation has been... You'll have to go scroll on down on YouTube and find it. The Ragamuffins, our new, it's kind of hard to find our new Ragamuffin song, I Can't Afford That Shit, is out. It's out everywhere if you can find it. Problem is, we might have to change the name of the Ragamuffins. I don't know. It's too hard. There's been too many other Ragamuffins bands. We're going to be all over the place. So going to be April 29th. Go get your tickets right now for Do-Si-Do, and then go to watchchad.com where all the fun stuff is, because we're going to be bouncing all over the place. I'm in Naples, Florida at Off the Hook Comedy Club. 2 shows in one night, May 25th next month. And then the summertime's going to be lit. I don't even know if you're still supposed to use that word, but it's going to be fun. I guarantee that. But get your tickets now in the Woodlands, Texas, or Spring, Texas. It's right on the border right there, just north of Houston. It's an expensive ticket. I'm not going to lie to you, but you get the chicken fried steak the size of your head along with that. So it's a good time. You got a TikTok, Chris? Let her rip.
I'm just going to say this, if y'all don't mind.
We don't.
I am so sick of right-wing men coming into my mentions and asking me stupid, basic biology questions like, what is a woman and are babies valuable? I have given birth to not one, not two, but 3 full humans and raised them with the help of my husband. I am a mother, but I'm not your mother. If you need answers to basic biological questions, you need to Google it or ask your mama. Again, I'm a mother, but I'm not your mother. Stay out of my mentions. Be blessed.
Who's been in her mentions? Who has been up in her mentions? Well, we just mentioned you, so there you go. There's some free press. And I'm a white dude that has never wanted your opinion on a biological male, female, woman, male, man, whatever. You know, people kept coming at me when I said the world needs more real men. The world needs real men. People say, can you define what a real man is? Oh, shut up. If you ever been around one, you know. If you need a definition for it, then you ain't ever going to find one. That's a fact. If you're out there checking boxes, because you know what? Real men, real women, they're all going to screw up because we are fallen, frail, feeble creatures. We really are. We're going to screw up. We're not asking for you to be a perfect man or woman. So I don't know who's been up in her mentions or up in her unmentionables. Apparently she got 3 grown humans. So somebody's been in the unmentionables. But I don't really care about your definition of anything. And, again, you know why they ask you for the definitions, Chris? You know why they do that? It's because they want to catch you in something. They want to find you a slip up. Like if I say a woman is an adult biological female that's capable of producing eggs and reproducing children, then they're going to find something wrong in that definition, and that slip of the lip gets you hung by the tongue, right? So that's when they're going to come out and they're going to be like, oh, but you said, didn't you say? And then it's going to come up forever and ever for the rest of your life. You know what? If you've ever been around a real woman, my God, if you've ever been around a real woman, then you know. You were around a real woman. If you've ever been around a real man, you know it too. Nobody has to define that for you. Nobody does. Got some things I want to tell you in the final segment, so don't go anywhere. Let's go to break early. We'll be right back. All right, folks, watchchad.com. I told you about it earlier. I want you to go there and check out where we're going to be. And also you can check out our new stuff that's over there. It's where the fun stuff is. But I want you to go to chadonblaze.com, do a little T-shirt shopping. What better way to piss off your friends and neighbors? Are they really friends? Are they really friends? I kid with you. Use promo code CHAD10 store-wide. That's if you're shopping stews, stuff, whoever. Just use promo code CHAD10, all right? And get yourself 10% off when you go shopping at chadonblaze.com. Also, please, we're working hard. Chris is working hard. Mark's working hard. I'm running my mouth on the overtime. Sign up. Subscribe. blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code MORECHAD. And listen, guys, stop apologizing for being men. Stop apologizing for being women. I was thinking, if Leah Thomas, who won the national championship in women's swimming, who was born William Thomas, I wonder if someone attacked her in the street, would she fight like a man or like a woman? Something to think about. Something to put in your pipe and smoke it. Prayers for Sis. God bless her, and all of you out there for making this show possible. We love you. We could not do this without you, so share it with your friends and tell them there's a lot of wisdom here. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.